Okay, so I heard something, and I need you to confirm for me that it's not true because it can't possibly be true. It would be absurd if it were true. It would be ridiculous. It's I know it's not true because it's unthinkable that it would be true. Oh, well, you're gonna laugh when I tell you because it is ridiculous. I heard that you were gonna marry the you were gonna marry the uh, no, no, no. You can't you can't marry her. You can't you can't you can't marry her. Come on now. You're why not? Because because I told well, I pointed out to you that it is ridiculous. They're not like us. They're not like us at all. The, I mean, for one, are they even compatible? Are they even compatible? Pff, like compatible. Like, does everything, like fit together? Because, well, I don't know. How would I know? I don't know about human anatomy. I've never looked that closely because why would anybody look that closely? And they wear all those clothes. How can you tell anything with all those clothes they're going? Actually, it's actually very suspicious. What are they hiding? What are they really hiding? Huh? How can you trust a creature that covers up so much? They're either hiding something or they're very afraid of everything. So either of those is a very bad situation. Uh, okay, well, fine. Fine. Everything fits together. Uh, I'm not convinced, but all right. But there are other incompatibilities. Well, okay, so their lifespan. What do they live like? Yeah, 100, 200 years, something like that. Look, I mean, why don't you just get a goldfish? Just wait, they do? Huh? Wow. Okay, so and this one is already full grown, right? So you're only going to have like what tops 60, 70 years? That's that's just like why bother? I wouldn't even make my bed for somebody who was only going to be around for 60 years. Okay, so what's the point? Why even marry this human? Peace? What peace do you think this is going to bring about? Are you kidding me? No, I'm serious. Have you ever heard of peace coming because you had more in laws? That's not how that works. Through the children. Oh, through the children. Yeah, sure. First off, I can't believe you're talking to me about actually breeding with one of these things. But, right, let's entertain that fantasy. You think that your future heir will be one king to rule them all. Let me explain to you how that went for Arthur. Yes, Arthur wasn't just supposed to be one king to rule all Britons. He was supposed to be one king to rule all men and fae in Britain. The protector of the fae, the high king of two worlds. He and Morgan were supposed to they were supposed to protect us. Their son was supposed to be the first ruler of fae and human blood. to truly own both thrones. That's clearly not what happened. Morgan and Arthur were supposed to protect Faye. Under his rule, the veil between our world and theirs closed almost entirely. Almost none of them believe in magic anymore. And then those who do believe think that we've been keeping him here for all this time? That he's just been hanging out in the land of Fae until he's needed again? Like he's just going to come back when they truly need him, as if they haven't truly needed him yet. So I ask you, have you seen him around? Because I haven't. Do you know what happened to him? He was shuffled off that mortal coil by his own son, the half-elf who was supposed to inherit both worlds. Instead, he just went mad because he was not accepted in either. And let me tell you, they will not have become more accepting in these past hundreds of years. I know because I know. I know because they're human. They're not accepting of those who are not like them. My goddess, they're not even accepting of each other. No, you're right. I'm not being accepting of them. Because they don't. They don't just form alliances. For one, they can lie. Do you know that they can lie? They can lie. They can look right in your face and lie without ever being afraid that the hunt will come for them. And they don't just form bonds. They try to create ownership. If you marry this human, you marry this human, she's not going to accept our ways. They don't think like we do. They don't act like we do. They don't accept the way we bond with each other. They think bodies can be owned and given either in slavery or in marriage, which is very similar as far as I can see the way they run them. She would come between us. You know that, right? A human would never tolerate what we are to each other. And even if it's just for less time than I would find worthy of making my bed for someone, I don't want to spend the rest of the century keeping my distance from you. I don't want to spend decades not touching you, not feeling you, not kissing you, having that part of you off limits to me and that part of me off limits to you. It's not who we are. We would be lost without that. The irony. Those creatures who don't even believe in magic, but they believe in monogamy and exhibit magical thinking by doing so. You say that, but it will come between us. She would keep you from reveling with me. She would keep you from reveling with anyone She would try to break you of anything wild and free and keep you in a cage that she calls love and commitment. And the worst part is you don't even get to experience that with her. You don't feel it for her. I know you don't. I can see that you don't. I would know if you did. You don't you don't feel any passion for her. Do you really want to go the rest of the century without ever feeling wild? Without ever feeling passion for anything? Whether it's a revel, whether it's running with me to jump off of a cliff into the ocean, screaming with glee for those few moments that we're plummeting. Do you really want her to steal from you all of those nights by campfire when we're hunting? All of those dances that no human can understand with all of their clothes? Do you really think that you could stand the rest of the century without that? Could you go the rest of the century without me? Because I can't without you. We have always been that freedom for each other. We have always been that passion. We have always been each other's revel. And if you made that promise to her, you would eventually be forsworn. Because it's not in your nature. You can't swear to be something that you're not. And if the wild huntsman comes for you, he's going to have to take me too. I swear to you that. If you go, I will go. And I know you don't want that from me. So, yes, I've heard the term emotional blackmail, and I do believe that that might be this, but I cannot find it in myself to be remorseful. I beg of you, do not do this thing. Jealous? No. No, not jealous. Because jealousy is for people who are afraid that they are going to lose something. I know the part of you that is mine and will always be mine. I also know that I would have no worries for you if you were to marry a human who could accept what we are. If you could marry a human who would let you be you, then that would be a different story. I swear to you that. But no human can accept the way we are. You know that. Yes, it's true that I don't want to lose that connection with you, even temporarily. I don't want to have to wait for your touch. I don't want to have to wait for your kisses. I don't want to wait for your dances. But it's more than that. I could entertain myself with others for 60 years if I had to, but I can't spend 60 or more years thinking about how unhappy you must be, owned and caged and not in touch with anything that truly matters to you. I can't stand to think what that would do to you. Just just please try to find another way. If they truly want peace, they will find a way to have peace with us. They don't have to demand your slavery in order to have it. That's not peace. That's ownership. Think about it. Yes, you know I am always yours. No matter who you marry, no matter what commitments you make, no matter how much you have to stay away from me or I you. We are always each other's special revel. But please, don't let them clip your wings. I'll talk to you soon. Hey there, cupcakes. Thank you all so very much for sticking around for the end of the story. I hope that you all enjoyed that character. If you like her, she's going to be over in a spicy story over on Patreon. I I don't know if she's going to be much of a series because, for one, I have a cold. I don't know if you can tell. Actually, that's a lie. I have had I have had a flu that turned into to pneumonia this week, but I am on the mend. Either way, the bottom line is though that I don't think I can replicate this voice for very long, or at least I hope not. The other part of that is that I'm going to make a prediction that not a lot of people love this character because she is not monogamous, and I know that that is not what we normally romanticize when we tell romance stories, and that's not usually what people picture as happily ever after, especially not in stories like this. That's all good. I do think when I write Faye, I always please excuse my bird who's going crazy flying around the room. Uh, one reason he's not on my shoulder today, right? So Faye, as I've always read them, are often wild and a little debauched. And there's almost an innocence to their debauchery that I absolutely appreciate. I may have read one too many Laurel K. Hamilton books, but hey, actually, there's nothing innocent in that debauchery, but you get what I'm saying. So, writing a fake character, I wanted them to be a little wild and a little free, and having them be non-monogamous seemed in keeping with the species, with the race. And so I knew that there were going to be a lot of problematic things that came out of these characters' mouths, and also a lot of wise things about, loving somebody without owning them. Uh, I kept thinking, okay, quick story time, because I'm about to say something very weird. This this character made me think a lot of my parents. Now, huh, considering the nature of the character, you would wonder. Okay, so explanation. My parents were born in a very different era. They were in their 60s when I was born, and I was not adopted at birth, so they were old, 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 old. And their origin story is one of those things that are like really problematic when you hear about it, but they told it like it was the most romantic story, right? Uh, like this was my dad asking my mom to marry him every day or every time he saw her for years and years. Uh, because it started off as this little joke because he's like 9 years older than she is. This is getting worse by the moment. He's like 9 years older than she was. And so he was a teenager. She was a little girl. And he's like, "You're gonna marry me one day when you grow up." And that was, I mean, at the time, they thought of it as something that was playful and funny and flattering and charming and, a way to pump up a little kid without realizing, like, why that's not a great idea to pump them up in that way. The intentions were wholesome, the intentions were good, but the execution was absolutely flawed. So my father did this as a joke for years, and some point, at some time, it stopped becoming a joke. To hear my mother tell it, she said she finally said yes just to get him to shut up. My father, throughout the almost 50 years that they were married, was an absolute flirt. My mother never really seemed to care. She, at some point, was a burlesque dancer, just to show you that. And this was, wow, what a it- like, not for nothing. I think my mom was a cool lady. She was a burlesque dancer before it was, this kind of cheeky, like, kind of kitsch art form. It was just something she did for fun. And my father flirted for fun. As a teenager, I became a little bit mortified by it. One day, I remember being in a store and he saw a young woman with a keychain that had her name on it, engraved on it, and he said, "Excuse me, miss, is uh is that your name over there on that keychain?" And she said, "Yes, sir." I imagine she thought he was gonna ask where she got it so he could get one for his grandkid, but no, no, no. My father came back and said, "You got another one with your phone number on it?" I was 14 and wanted to melt through the floor. I was mortified. I came back and at some point in those next few years, I told my mother, "Oh, why?" I asked my mother, why do you tolerate this? It's disrespectful. He flirts constantly, and aren't you worried that he'll cheat? Aren't you worried that he is cheating? Why do you tolerate this? You deserve better than this." God, what a little shit stirrer I was. Anyway, she came back and said, "What do you think he's gonna do after all these years?" Right? Because at this point, they've been married well over 40 years. Well over 40 years. And he said, "What do you she says, "What do you think he's gonna do at this time at this late date?" She said, "I know where he comes home. Why don't cause trouble, right? Just leave me alone. Don't bother me." And I left it at that. There was no more conversation to be had after that. She was okay with it, so okay. I didn't realize at the time that obviously she knew something that I didn't. Whether it was because she just knew him that well, whether it was because she was just that secure, whether or not it was because they'd been together for forever and she wasn't afraid anymore, or whether it was just a matter of, she came from an era when people didn't get divorced. I don't know.